long before the world knew it by postcards and reggae rhythm. Jamaica was an island of quiet power, an island that listened, remembered, and waited. Before flags were raised and anthems sung, Jamaica belonged first to the wind, and Jamaica was home to the Taino. They fished the bright waters, planted cassava in red soil, and named the land Eximaka, the land of wood and water. Their villages rested between rivers and forests, where the island breathed slowly and generously. They believed spirits lived in caves and hills, and that the land must be respected, not owned. But respect did not arrive with the ships. In 1494, foreign sails cut across the horizon. Christopher Columbus stepped onto the island, and in that moment Jamaica was pulled into a world that saw land as profit and people as tools. Spanish rule followed. Disease came faster than weapons. Within decades, the Taino population was nearly erased. The island grew quiet again, but it was not peace, it was mourning. The Spanish built little and left much undone. Then, in 1655, the British arrived with cannons and ambition. Jamaica changed hands and changed fate. Under British rule, Jamaica became one of the most profitable colonies in the empire. Sugar was king. Gold flowed not from the earth, but from human suffering. Plantations spread across the island like scars. Enslaved Africans were brought by the thousands. Men, women, and children taken from homelands they would never see again. They worked from before sunrise until after dark. The heat was brutal. Punishment was public. Death was common. Yet even in bondage, they carried something no chain could break. They carried memory. Drums whispered when speech was forbidden. Stories traveled by firelight. African traditions blended with survival, forming new ways of worship, resistance, and identity. The enslaved did not forget who they were. Jamaica was shaping them, but they were shaping Jamaica too. Not all accepted the plantation's rules. In the mountains, the Maroons, escaped Africans, and their descendants, built free communities. They knew the land better than any soldier. They struck fast, vanished into the forest, and proved that freedom was possible, even under empire. Treaties were signed. Uneasy peace followed, but resistance never stopped. Rebellion was always near the surface, like heat under ash. In 1831, a Baptist deacon named Sam Sharp believed freedom could be won without blood. He organized a peaceful strike during Christmas, refusing to work unless paid wages. The plan collapsed. Violence followed. Plantations burned across western Jamaica. British forces crushed the uprising brutally. Hundreds were executed. Sam Sharp was hanged. But his words did not die. His rebellion shook Britain's conscience. Within 2 years, slavery was abolished across the empire. Freedom came, but not fully. Emancipation in 1838 did not bring equality. Formerly enslaved people had no land, little money, and few rights. Plantation owners remained powerful. Poverty replaced chains. Jamaicans built villages on hillsides and along roads. Churches and schools became centers of hope. The people worked, struggled, and endured. Colonial government ruled from above, distant and uninterested in black voices. Jamaica was British, but Jamaicans were not free to decide their future. Still, culture was growing. Language bent and blended. Food changed. Music emerged from hardship. Faith deepened. The island was learning itself. In 1865, desperation exploded again. At Morant Bay, protesters marched against injustice, taxes, landlessness, and colonial cruelty. The response was savage. Hundreds were killed. Homes were burned. Martial law was declared. Britain tightened control, turning Jamaica into a crown colony with even less self-rule. But something had shifted. The people were no longer whispering. The early 20th century brought new struggles and new leaders. Urbanization grew. Kingston swelled. Workers demanded rights. Global black movements inspired pride and resistance. Two figures emerged who would change everything. Marcus Garvey, who preached black pride, self-reliance, and global unity. Norman Manley, who pushed for political reform, education, and national identity. Labor uprisings in the 1930s forced Britain to listen. Political parties formed. Trade unions gained strength. Jamaicans began governing Jamaican affairs. The idea of independence, once impossible, started to feel inevitable. By the 1950s, Jamaica stood at the edge of itself. The island was still poor, still unequal, still under British rule. But the people had something new: belief. They had survived genocide, slavery, rebellion, and neglect. They had turned pain into culture. They had learned to speak loudly. On the night before independence, Jamaica was not yet free, but she was awake. The drums that once whispered now echoed. The language once punished was now celebrated. The people once silenced were ready to choose. Independence did not erase history. It carried it forward. Every beat of Jamaican music holds Africa and resistance. Every proverb remembers survival. Every celebration echoes struggle. Before independence, Jamaica was forged in fire and faith. And when the sun finally rose on August 6, 1962, it did not create a nation. It revealed one that had already endured. Thanks for watching.